Okay, guys, we're getting started. Let's get going. Today's episode is with the amazing Bridget, and this is exciting because this is the first episode that we're doing like in person.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
So, are you ready?
Yes.
Because this is kind of like a lot of pressure.
I'm a teacher. I can't do anything. Do this all day. Oh my god.
Give us a little background. Who are you? What do you do?
So I am a teacher by trade. So I teach high school. I've been teaching for the last 8 years. I taught abroad. So I taught abroad for 3 years. I taught English, and then I came home and I've been teaching history since. So in the midst of all of that, I started doing a lot of like spiritual wellness, and that's kind of how my tarot practice was born in like a small nutshell.
That was the
dive very deep into that.
Simplest synopsis ever.
Yeah.
Wow.
I get to the point.
Wow. Good thing I'm good at interviewing otherwise and be like, okay, thanks, bye.
Thanks, bye,
Okay, so you taught English.
Yep.
Where were you?
I was in Spain for 2 years, Burgos, and then Madrid, and then I went to Thailand for 6 months.
Ooh. So are you fluent in Spanish?
No. I knew like the colors and like the flags. I don't even know. Like
honestly, no judgment.
Yeah.
I studied abroad in Paris and I knew zero French going into it and still know zero
in
French.
Paris. Yeah.
I know, that was kind of my show.
Yeah.
Didn't the first time that
I was like, you look like her.
Okay, so should we tell that story?
Yeah.
The first time that we met? Yeah.
Oh my god, yes.
I don't know where to begin.
It was, so I posted on my Instagram, like I was at an MK event, like Movement by MK.
Yes.
And then you were there at the same time.
So Movement by MK, her name's Mary Kate, and she used to be called Fro Yoda Fitness. So you went to an MK event.
Yeah.
And then so did I.
Yeah.
And it was like a workout event, fitness. And that's where we met?
We didn't meet then. You had like direct messaged me. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, and I saw like you had posted with MK, and I was like, I love her. She's so nice. And then we just started talking. Like,
oh
DMing.
my gosh. Yes, because you know what I did after that event?
Did you stalk all of us?
I went into MK's like story because she reposted everyone's post about it. And I clicked on anyone who was tagged or anyone that posted. And like if I thought that they were cool, decent human.
I passed.
Then I messaged them. Because I'm like, okay, well, we're like-minded, clearly.
I love that. And we were all there at like 8 in the morning on a Saturday.
Yes.
So that takes a certain individual to be there.
I mean, clearly we're both amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we met there, and then we talked on Instagram, and then I asked you out on a girl date.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we grabbed coffee, and
you changed my life.
Thanks, Bridge.
You did. I was like, because we met up and then you were like, I'm a health coach, and I was really interested. Then like, I feel like we were talking about everything, and then you said health coach, and I was like, immediately, and I already knew that you were, but I was totally zeroed in, and because I've been wanting to be a health and life coach for the past 2 years, like looking into programs.
And I had no idea at that point.
Yeah.
Like we didn't go into this being like, oh, can you tell me all about this so I can figure out my life?
It was literally, just like meeting up for coffee and like-minded wellness people in the Chicago area. It was so fun. And then I like zeroed in on that, and I got so excited. And then you told me about both that and then your transformational coaching program.
Yes.
And I think I told you, I was like, I need 24 hours.
My group program.
Yeah.
Okay, because so I'm telling her, honestly, you guys, like I was talking so much. There was a point where I was like, can we, like, I need to drink coffee. Can you tell me about you?
I asked so many questions.
And I was like, I love you and I love that you're so interested, but I want to genuinely know you too. Yeah. And so I'm telling you about my group program. I look in the mirror, love what you see, because you were asking me more and more questions. You were interested on like what I did, group coaching and individual coaching, and I was just describing it. Like, hopefully I'm never salesy.
No,
but like,
never. And it was never salesy. I was just kind of like, wait, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I think I literally said that, and then I was like, I'm going to wait 24 hours. And I was like, I got home, and I was like, I'm signing up immediately.
Because you were like, I wait 24 hours to make every important decision. And then she messaged me back in less than 24 hours, and I was like, I'm really fucking awesome, aren't I?
Oh my God, you changed my life.
Okay, you're in the middle of the program.
Yeah.
So let's talk about you first.
Oh.
Like, yes, I'm an awesome coach, but this is about you and what your transformation has been. Let's start like before we even met.
Yeah.
So you said you were already in the spiritual area.
Yes.
What the hell does that mean?
Okay. So this goes back like 10 years. And I feel like I've talked to you about this. My best friend passed away when I was 18. And after that, this is like we went down the whole spiritual rabbit hole. Her family started going to spiritual mediums. So a spiritual medium is someone, like they're the medium between Earth and the spiritual, like the universe.
Yes.
So they could connect with people that have crossed over. So me and my friend Liz went, because her family, my friend who had passed, her family had recommended us to go see this medium. So we went, and I like went in and I was like so skeptical, and I was like, no way, this is real. We both walked out, we're like, like bawling, and it was so accurate. She knew where I had like eaten.
What do you mean she knew where
you... Guys, it was crazy. So it was like around Thanksgiving time, and I was working at the movie theater, and I had eaten my Thanksgiving meal in my car in the parking lot, and I was eating Burger King. And then when I went to the medium, she was like, were you like alone in your car eating Burger King? And I was like,
did you see her the next day and not shower or something?
Guys,
did you smell like Burger King?
No, it was like a week later, and she was like, Julie was with you, and I was like I freaked out.
Also, who the hell goes to Burger King?
It was the only thing open on Thanksgiving. I was in a pickle. I was working in my movie theater outfit. I was struggling, and I was clearly missing my friend, and I was like, oh my God, it was so wild.
That's
so
bizarre.
Ever since then, I've been like, yep. And then I started seeing signs, and
what does that mean?
So, like you see 333, right? You see angel numbers. So a lot of people see repeating numbers.
Also known as angel numbers.
Angel numbers that are signals from the universe saying like, hey, you're doing a great job. So you might see 333 on a license plate and then look it up afterward and be like, oh my God, that was so relevant.
Yes.
So
or like someone who sees the same, like, 2:22 p.m.
Yes.
every day, or like something that you continue to see. And then you're like, why the hell am I seeing this so much?
And and it could be animals too. It could be like I started seeing owls after Julie passed everywhere, and that's why I have my owl tattoo.
Okay, explain your owl tattoo because it's really cool.
Oh, thank you. So after Julie passed, her whole family, everyone started seeing owls, and like anytime, I'm not joking, anytime I would think about her, like an owl would pop out. And I'm like, what the heck? So one time I was so upset, I was crying, I was in my car, and I was like driving home.
In the suburbs?
In the suburbs.
In the Chicago suburbs. Owls popped out?
Yes. In the middle of the street, in front of me, there was an owl, and I was like, I had to like pull over, because I was like unwell. It was just so bizarre. So a lot of those things started happening, and it was too obvious to ignore the signs.
Yeah.
So then I started like Googling. I'm like, what does owl mean? And it's like wisdom. And
so at that point, were you just at the beginning, like, were you still a little skeptical?
I was 18. I was like at U of I, partying on the weekends, not, trying to get through my friends passing. Like I wasn't really, but I started like, at one point, I think it was like my junior year, I started seeing angel numbers everywhere. And I was like, okay, this is getting really crazy. So then I started getting more into it. But it wasn't until way later on, probably like when I was 24, when I really started like using spiritual tools, which led me to tarot. So I used to just see mediums once a year.
Okay.
And then
to connect with Julie.
Yes.
Okay.
And honestly, it helped me through her passing so much. Like if I didn't have that, I would have,
And each time, was it like, how did you know that?
Oh yeah. And it was so reassuring. You're very comforted too. It's kind of hard though, because it's like it opens a door where you're grieving and you're like, oh, I miss them so much. So it helps in a beautiful way, but it also can so I can see how people might abuse it a little bit and might need to like have actual therapy versus like spiritual therapy.
Oh, like abuse it. Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I get to stay connected to them through this. I'm not going to
grieve.
Process.
Yes.
The grieving.
Yes. Yes.
That is really, I never thought about that, but that can be detrimental because you're never processing the grief.
Exactly. So then I started, like, I would go maybe like twice a year, and then I stopped going, and that's totally fine. Now I love, like, I still love to go, but now I started noticing that my mediumship sessions started becoming more about me and less about Julie, and that's when I knew that my grieving process was getting better.
Ooh.
So now I know she's with me all the time. I could be like,
hey, Jules.
Yeah. Like,
did you call her Jules?
Yeah. And I see her birthday all the time, and I'm like, I know she's with me all the time.
She's here right now.
Yes.
She said we put this
I have
couch
to show
here.
you some crazy things that have happened. Like, this is, I don't even know if you're going to include this, but on the day of her passing, so this is a 10-year anniversary of her passing, and this has happened to me 2 years in a row. So last year, on the day of her passing, I was sitting on my back porch, and my downstairs neighbors came up, and they were like, oh, like, they, like, work for a wine company, and they never had gotten me wine ever. And they were like, oh, Bridget, like, I feel like you would like this wine. Like, if you want it, like, you can have it. The name of the wine was Julie.
Like, yes. Just Julie?
Julie.
What kind of wine was it?
It was rosé. And then, a year later, me and my friends, this summer, me and my friends order a bottle of wine, because we all go out, like, for the anniversary of her passing. Ordered a bottle of wine. The wine came out, Julie.
Is the wine good?
Yes.
I want so
good. And
Why
I was
are
like,
we not drinking it right now?
I don't know, but I was like, so, like, just so undeniable. So it's just,
wow.
Yeah. So that's why spirituality has been, like,
okay,
huge for me.
But a medium is so different than what you do. Yes?
I'm still,
no?
Okay, so I would say I'm still channeling, like.
So you're a tarot reader and oracle.
Yes.
Explain what you do.
Okay. So if you came to one of my sessions, I would meditate on you beforehand. So I meditate and I connect with your highest self.
So we're going to do a trial one in a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Ooh, I'm glad
and I want to do like a full like hour session with you. But I would meditate on you beforehand and then connect. But if you get like a traditional tarot reading, you can just do like a regular reading and someone could actually like read the meaning of the cards and do that. I'm more intuitive because every tarot card has a meaning to it. So you literally could just read the card. Like it'd be like, you know how you used to get vocab terms in front of you? So it'd be like a vocab term like agriculture. Yes. And then that's the business of farming. Like it's the same for a tarot card. Like 2 of Cups, that means partnership. So there is a definition for every single card.
Got it. Okay.
But I read intuitively. So I might see the actual tarot card, but I might be picking up on a different message than what the traditional tarot card means.
So like you're not just a textbook.
Yes.
Okay, so that's good.
Yes. Oh, thank you. But people read in such beautiful ways that can interpret it just for what they are. But I would say if you're going to like New Orleans and going into like a random, that's how they read tarot. It's very like by the book. But I'm very like, I think about my client. I meditate on you beforehand. I ask you, I have an intake form. So I ask you if there's anything you want to focus on. And a lot of people say like love and partnership, career, purpose, or they could just be surprised. So whatever
This
comes
is
up.
so cool. And I'm starting to get like nervous.
Oh my God, you're going to be fine. You'll be fine. If I did a whole session with you, then I would meditate on you beforehand. But now it's just going to be more like direct.
This is so funny because this is totally tables turned because now I'm your coach and now you're about to like do what you do to me and I'm fucking terrified.
Oh my God, I am very positive too, like because there are in tarot there's cards that are traditionally seen as bad. I don't know, there's a better word for that, but in reality everything has like life, there's a silver lining to everything. And if you go back in life and you look at the things that were bad that happened to you, turn out to be some of the biggest and best lessons. So anything I'm
not scared. I'm like excited, but like I'm anticipating the goosebumps. Okay, so you started tarot reading as a hobby.
Yeah, so I went to one of the mediums that I went to and they use cards too. And I was always like so excited for the cards part. And then one of the mediums I went to, he was like, why don't you just buy cards yourself? And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm not like mystical like you are. Like, cause I thought it was something that he had that I didn't have. So then I was like, okay, I guess I'll like buy a deck. And then I got obsessed with it. And then over quarantine, like 2019 was like my real spiritual awakening when I started using all these tools and learning astrology and human design and all the fun spiritual rabbit hole of life.
Oh my gosh, so cool.
Yeah, so I just started using it as a tool kind of to get through.
Like for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so it started off with you being intuitive with you. Mm-hmm. So then how did you go from that to being like, oh, people will pay for this shit?
Yeah, I know. So it was COVID, and I kept pulling cards, how can you help others? And so I started posting on my Instagram, and I remember this scared the shit out of me.
Like, the cards were saying, how can you help others?
Yeah. So I kept getting that message over and over again, and like bringing in a community and finding your soul tribe. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. They're not showing up,
especially in
door.
COVID.
Exactly. I was like, I legitimately don't know how to do that. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll just start posting on my Instagram and come out of my spiritual closet, because I'm a teacher, and teachers by trade are very like traditional, you know. So I was like, what if my students find me, and X, Y, and Z, and then I got over that. And now my Gen Z students are like all into all this stuff.
Yeah. So. Have you ever had any parents that have seen it and they're like,
nope.
Have you ever gotten parents as clients?
No. Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. That would be amazing. But I go by Bridget Rose. Like, I don't go by my last name either.
True. I thought your last name was Rose for a solid amount of time.
It's actually my confirmation name. My real middle name is Reardon, but that doesn't roll off the tongue as well. So I picked Rose. So I go by that, so I don't think they find me.
That's really funny. So during COVID, you start posting.
Yes. So I started posting on my story saying if anyone wanted a card pulled, let me know. And so I would send them the card, and then it comes with like a little booklet. So I would send them the card, and then I would send them a picture of the card meaning from the booklet.
Yes.
And then one of my friends, so she's a psychic medium, and we started DMing and messaging each other, and she was like, you know, you can just interpret the cards on your own. I was like, what do you mean? Like, no, I can't. And I didn't realize that I have something called intuition, which all of us have. And it's just something that we have to build our muscle with. So then I was like, okay, I don't need the book anymore. And I just started interpreting the cards as it meant to me. And I just started practicing and doing like free write journaling, and something happened, and I started meditating more. I took a whole class on how to build your intuition.
Okay, so there was like something structural there that you were like, okay, this is the step to stepping further into myself. Okay, so you had the interest, you realize you have an intuition, and then you're like, I know I can do this, let's further it.
Yes. And my friend who had the psychic medium who had been DMing me, who's now one of my best friends, she's amazing. She was leading a class, and she's like, why don't you take my class? So it all like unfolded.
So you meet all of your friends and then sign up for their classes.
Literally, I was like, great.
People, you guys, if you want someone to hire you for your service, just reach out to Bridget on Instagram and ask for a coffee.
Literally. It was like literally that, exactly what that was. So
that's amazing.
It was exactly it. Because I've met so many, and like, how else do you meet people in COVID? It was through Instagram.
Yeah, you don't.
And then I did Bun Undone, Morgan, her self-care society. So everything, I felt like I was getting like all these tools at once. And then I started charging people. People were like, why are you not charging people? And I'm like, what do you mean? And then I was like, wait, this could be a business. So then January of this year, I started my business.
Okay. So then more and more people start coming to you, like repeat clients.
And I was like, I can't handle all of this energetically.
And then we met.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, this is the path.
Yeah.
That you can become a coach.
Yes.
And have both of them play into one big, powerful thing.
Yes. Which I could go a whole nother route.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we're not going to go fully into that, but I just want the listeners to know that she now is getting certified for her health and transformational life coach certification to build onto her intuition and tarot reading knowledge. You're going to be like a freaking powerhouse.
Oh, thank you.
It's so cool.
I'm very excited.
One big spiritual tree house power.
Yes. It all connects.
Okay, so we always start out with asking each other random ass questions. Do you know what this segment is?
Yes.
Okay, cool, good. She listened to the episodes, you guys. Woohoo! Do you want to ask me first, or do you want me to ask you?
You ask me.
Okay. What was your first AOL screen name?
Smiley Girl 731. I made it when I was
she says with such a huge smile on her face with pride.
I loved it. I'm almost positive I still have that as like my Yahoo email as well.
Almost positive, or you know?
I need to like actually go on and like log in, and I'm actually super curious now, so I'm gonna probably do that soon.
I'm gonna email you for that.
I loved it.
Okay, so is that your birthday?
Yes.
7/31? Mm-hmm. All right, guys. If you think she's cool, reach out to me. I'll let you know where you can send a gift to her. Don't worry, I'll screen them first. I'll make sure they're not creeps.
What was yours?
MLE 1392.
Oh, that's cute.
Get it? The letters MLE.
That's super cute.
It was really cute.
Yeah.
And then 1392, which is my birthday.
So you're born January.
Sorry, that's very confusing. 3rd? October 13th, 1992.
Okay.
Because I wanted everyone to know how old I was at the time because I didn't know about predators. And I loved that one.
So then I was obsessed with 80s movies. So my second screen name was Don't You Forget About Me, and then the E was a 3 because it was from The Breakfast Club and it was the song at the end, and I legitimately was obsessed with that
That's
movie.
the longest screen name ever.
And I don't know if it had an apostrophe, but it was
Don't You Forget About Me. You can't even, when you pulled up that tab where you saw who was online, you can't even see your full screen name.
Don't You Forget.
So
that is really long. I didn't think about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So from a young age, just doing your own thing. Yep. Yeah. I love it.
So funny.
Okay, favorite 80s movie?
Breakfast Club. And then I love Stand By Me.
Ooh.
Those are my 2 favorites.
Let's watch that later.
I love Stand By Me.
All right. Bring it, girl. I'm ready for my question.
Okay. What was a lie that you believed for way too long?
Okay, so I'm the youngest of 3 sisters. And, I love them to death. They're literally my bestest friends. But that was a detriment to me in this scenario because I was very trusting of them.
Yeah.
So my oldest sister would tell me that there was a man that lived inside the hole of the strawberry. So when you bite the strawberry and then you get halfway there and there's the little hole in the inside. She literally convinced me that there was a little man that lived in there. And so I would be scared to eat the whole strawberry because I didn't want to eat the little man, you guys. And wow, I'm so excited for when she listens to this.
Did she just make it up?
She's made it up. And I just full out the most gullible sister ever. Just took it all in and believed her. And then one time we were at dinner as a family and I said something about it, I referenced it, and my mom was like, Emily, there is no man in there, you can eat the strawberry. And I got so mad. I think I tried to defend it first. I think I was like, no mom, there is, I swear. I was way too old for this, Bridget, probably 8.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
But now I make smoothies with strawberries every day. So and I'm not killing little men.
No. Exposure therapy. Just got over it.
Oh my god. It's fucking amazing.
I love it.
Okay. All right. I need to know because I have my conceptions about tarot reading and mediums and all that, and I want to be fully on board.
Yes.
But I'm not gonna lie, and I know there are listeners right now. It's hard not to be skeptical.
For sure. Yes.
So what are some of the myths that you hear a lot?
So tarot especially, honestly guys, I'll be honest, tarot used to be oh, not touching that, because I think it's seen as people see it as scary. And they see it as almost occultish versus something that you can use as a spiritual wellness tool, which is how I like to spin it. But there are some cards, I think I said this earlier, there's the devil card, there's the death card, there's the tower card, and people see those and they're like, I don't want to know about that. I think people get really, it's funny, it's ironic because people don't want to hear the truth. And that's what tarot is. So that's the common misconception is that, we're going to label this as occultish, but in reality it's just telling you everything you already know. Because
you're not a fortune teller.
No.
You're not someone is going to die.
No.
It could be something, okay, I'm totally making this up.
Yeah.
But it could be something maybe someone passed away recently, or maybe someone didn't pass away recently, but someone passed away who was important to you and you haven't thought about them in a long time, and subconsciously that was eating away at you.
Yeah. So I would say, if I'm giving you a reading, I always say this beforehand. I'm anything I tell you are things that you already know about yourself. It's just here to reconfirm and reiterate your story. So if it was something that was brought up, grieving, then I would say my client probably had to have that resurface just for them to work through that wound. So I would spin it as something more positive, but I think that tarot readers do get a bad name, like the ones that you might go see, and they might give beautiful tarot readings. I'm not going to say like you go see someone on the street and
but if you're seeing a tarot reader and they haven't taken the time to connect to their intuition, I think for me that's what's scary about it, and then taking what they say as fact without knowing if I can trust.
And I would say too, I always tell people, like, take what resonates, leave what doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you do not have to make sense of it. I could say something so random and it can make sense to you a week later, and it might make no sense to you at the time that I'm giving you the reading.
Yes.
And you're like, Bridget, what? And then you'll re-listen to the session like a month later and you're like, oh my gosh.
Totally.
That made sense. So I think that's why tarot could get a bad rap, because number one, like what we see in movies and
the
TV
crystal
shows.
ball with the cards.
Yeah. And I'm like, I remember the first medium I went to, I was like, I was expecting you to look so much different. And she was so beautiful and so chill and awesome. And yeah, I think when we're kids, that's what we expect.
I mean, it's in the cartoons.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
So then what's the difference between tarot reading and coaching?
Oh, okay. Tarot, I feel like coaching is more asking questions and pulling out answers from questions, versus tarot is more like a session. I would be talking at you the entire time, whereas in a coaching session I feel like I ask one question and then the client's talking the majority of the time, and then I'm trying to get information through what they're saying. But I feel like tarot is pretty much like
it's a little more straightforward, and then they get to interpret afterwards.
Yes. It's a lot. It's a lot for them to process.
Yes. Whereas, like, and what you were saying earlier, you were saying like anything I tell you, you already knew.
Yes.
Whereas with coaching, it's like anything that you discover was already inside you. I'm just helping you bring it to the surface.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I just got chills. That's exactly it. Because there's so many things, like now, because I'm in the coaching program now, I'm like. And now doing my sessions, I feel like they're so much stronger because I do have now this like short amount of time, but this coaching background that I can like pull off of.
Yeah. And and then you take the, like you're bringing things to the surface, but not like I'm processing my childhood.
Yeah.
More like tapping things open. So like maybe it's something like if you read something cool, it'd be like if you did a tarot reading and then like you're going to be a coach too, but then like they came to me and told me about what the tarot reading was, and it just gave me a little more direction to coach them. And then once you don't just stop at the surface level, but the cool thing about coaching is you then bring to the surface so that you can move forward, not just process.
Right. And we call it in coaching the why underneath the why.
We do call it the why underneath the why.
You know what I mean? It's like I might present to you.
Ooh, that's perfect because surface. I didn't even do that on purpose.
It's perfect because like the card reading is just the surface level, but then throughout the session, that's why I do think of it as like spiritual therapy. I'm not a therapist, but it does kind of.
It's all under the same umbrella.
What I mean? Yeah. So it's very healing, and people are like, wow, like you see me for who I am. And like, I don't even need the cards. Like you can still like process human connection, but I think it's nice because it's tangible.
It gives you a tool.
It does.
I mean, it's kind of similar to how like I don't follow so if someone's coming in for a tarot reading, how do you get the most out of it? Like what are some of the common blocks that you see women having for really stepping into that experience?
I love this question. First of all, I would say come in with an open mind and just know that like a lot of my clients have never had an intuitive guidance session before. Honestly, like I think what I've created, I don't think I've had like a session like that before. So it's very unique and every session's different. So I just say like come in with an open mind. You're going to leave feeling better than when you came in. So as long as you're here and willing and knowing that what I say to you might not resonate, but you're still going to get something out of the session, then you're going to have a great time and have fun too.
I like that. So like going in with I know this isn't black and white.
Yeah.
Rather than, because then that's when your critter brain can jump in. If you say something that doesn't resonate, then you're like, this is a bunch of crap.
Yes.
And then you completely ruin the experience.
But luckily, I've had amazing clients, and that has not happened. I'm very lucky.
Okay. I'm a little nervous to ask this question because you're going to be giving me a reading in a hot sec.
Oh my God.
Are there ever times when you're doing a reading and you pull something and you're like, oh, I don't know if this is my place to share with them?
I get that more when I'm meditating on them. Like I could pick up on their energy, but it's not my place to... Let me give you an example. So once I had a psychic reading and they told me that I was going to get a DUI. And I was like,
what?
Oh my God. I was like, oh my God. And I've never had a DUI. And I was like maybe 20, 21 years old. And I was like, oh my God. And I knew from that point on, I was like, I am never going to go to like a random psychic again and believe what they say. That doesn't...
I thought you were going to say, I'm never going to drive drunk again.
No.
Or I'm never going to drink and drive.
Oh no,
I love that that's not the lesson you took from that.
Well, no. Oh my God. Yes, of course I was never going to drink and drive. I was freaked out. And I never was going to do that anyway. Like I'm such a rule follower in that sense.
She's Smiley 731.
I know. So I was like, and I've never gotten a DUI, but I was like, oh my God. And I knew, I always think about that situation though. I'm like, how horrible is it that she told me that, and that maybe she would have told somebody else that and they would have believed it, and that would have ruined, I mean, it definitely
the rest of their week.
Yeah, like I was like definitely scared shitless after that. I'm like, I'm never, not like I ever did, but I was like, oh my God. So I always feel like in my readings, I'm never gonna give you information that, again, that you don't already know. So I might pick up on something, but I'm not gonna say I would let you to come to that, like coaching, I would let you come to that conclusion, and I might ask the right question. But I'm never going to
tell someone.
Just
like in coaching, the coach doesn't tell you exactly what to do.
Exactly.
And if they are doing that, it's not really a coach. It's a plan.
Yes.
And it that can get scary because sometimes when you have an authority figure that's telling you something, that especially that is going to happen.
Yeah.
There can be a big part of us that likes to subconsciously that manifests what we get told.
Yes.
And so, like, let's say it wasn't even going to happen or wasn't in the cards for you. Wasn't in the cards for you. And then you're like, oh, well, she told me this is going to happen. Yeah. So I'm going to, just keep driving while I drink a little bit so I can get it over with. Yep. That's scary.
So, yes. And I think going back to it too, like, we all have free will in life. So I could tell you something today and your life can change tomorrow. So I always tell my clients that too, like no matter what, you have the chance to make a decision and better your life. And hopefully this has given you a tool to do so. And I think another thing too on that, what I'm doing, you can do. And I want to give you that power and empower you to use your intuition as well. Ooh. So, because I used to think that when I went to mediums, I was like, oh my God, they're like mystical and they got some gift that I didn't get growing up. But in reality, it's like, no, everyone was born with intuition. It's just flexing the muscle.
100%.
So
100%. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. I'm really just like your spiritual friend. Like, maybe I'm like a little stronger than you. I don't know.
I have a little like cartoon image of this like smiley little blonde girl like sitting on my shoulder just cheering me along where I'm going, okay, let's do it.
Yay. Okay. So whenever I read, I set an intention for my client. And this is a quick tarot reading, so I won't like meditate on you beforehand, obviously, like I didn't. But this will be more direct, quick reading. So I always set the intention for you to see what you want to and need to for the highest good of all involved. And I just start my reading. So
amazing.
That's it. Yeah. Okay.
I'm so excited.
If you're doing it in person, it's actually cool because you can actually like split the deck.
Yes.
So do you want to split it into 3 piles?
Yes. 3.
Yep.
Okay. Does it matter if they're the same size?
No.
Or different sizes?
Doesn't matter, yeah. And then you put the pile back together.
I'm going to just not ask questions. All right.
And then, okay, set the intention for Emily to see what she needs to for the highest good of all involved. And then I'll shuffle. Oh my gosh, Em. Oh my God. Okay.
The devils.
I love it so much. Okay. So I'm going to interpret them facing me, not facing you, but I'll face them towards you so you understand afterwards. So Emily, you got the Wheel of Fortune. So this is probably one of the best, and you have very masculine cards in front of us. So Emily has...
On to bra or not to bra? So maybe my future is creating bras for men.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know, Em. Okay, so you have the Wheel of Fortune, King of Wands reversed, Knight of Cups, and then the Devil. So... If I saw this, I actually do feel like there's a romantic offering coming in for you. So the Knight of Cups, he's like the one that is very related. Knights are all action-based. So whatever male is in your life, I would say go for it and like take the emotional offering that he's giving you, because even if it doesn't turn into anything, you can just have that as like something that you've experienced and gone through. And I feel like you have like had a past relationship that might be affecting this current one and kind of keeping you from moving forward a little bit. So they're kind of saying honor that past relationship and let him go is what they're saying there. And then what you're working towards is the King of Wands. So he's super passionate and he's very fun and fiery and like airy and like, I feel like he's
so me guy version.
Exactly, like your perfect match, but he'll be able to like, I feel like he's like fanning the flames a little bit in like the best way.
Ooh, what do you mean?
So, you know, like when there's fire.
I think I know what you mean. But
like there's fire and then you fan the fire. Yes. He like helps you be your best version of yourself.
Yes.
I was not expecting this to be romantic, by the way, but it is.
I keep saying to people that I am ready for a man to not balance me out, but match me.
He is meeting you where you're at.
Yeah, because I'm fucking royalty, like. And so is the king.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you hear that, you guys?
I love this. But it is honoring your past relationships and just saying to them, like, thank you for showing me what you showed me, because that's what's going to bring in this new, beautiful emotional offering. And then with the Wheel of Fortune, this is everything turning in your favor. So it's surprises. And again, especially with the Knight of Cups, it's this new emotional offering that is really exciting. I don't usually say dates, but it does feel like October-ish for me. I feel like October collectively is like a big month of, it's your birthday.
It is my birthday.
So it's a big month of transition. And it feels like too, I'm like, you have all the tools that you need, and it's just like believing in yourself that you, and I know you do, but that you're capable. And that's it. So you can have it all. And I feel like this is what you've been asking for, like the partnership. Because you kind of, like the career stuff feels like it's coming to fruition. So then you could pull something, like maybe a client would ask, can I have a clarifying card on what you just talked about, like on love? And so I could pull a clarifying card.
Is this something where like you, because I have so many things that I'd want to say to that. Like, do I wait or do I?
So I would ask, like, do you have any questions on, because I just pulled for your current energies. So I would ask, do you have any questions on the current energies or specifically on something that came up, like love or your career?
For me, it was actually about my ex, my past relationship, because, oh my God, holy shit. Bridget.
Very interesting.
Wait, this is bizarre because...
Do you want me to talk to you about it? Okay. I don't want to say it feels like you can't let him go because it feels very beautiful, but there's a part of you that can be unlocked in that relationship, and that it will help you release the burden of it. Whether it's still doing the inner work, which I feel like you've already been doing. But the 10 of Wands is about, especially in reverse, he's like, I just want to let this go. He's like, I just need to drop the baggage. And it's a 10 card. So that means you're almost there. So 10 in numerology is the completion of the cycle. I see that, I'm like, she just has to honor it. That's the first step. And then energetically let it go.
Okay. So this is beyond bizarre.
Okay.
Because I just ran into my ex in the first time in 2 years.
Are you kidding me?
Because we broke up pre-COVID. I broke up pre-COVID.
Stop.
And then I moved back to the city. You can see the building that we lived in from my apartment. Maybe that's something that, like, when I'm seeing it,
it could be subconscious.
Yeah. But usually when I see it, I'm like, I love this life.
Yeah.
Like, thank God I got out of a relationship I didn't want to be in. But just last week, I ran into him for the first time, and I moved back to the city in May.
Yeah.
So, and we live a few blocks from each other. And I kept being like, when am I going to see him? Like, I just wanted to get it over with, you know? He's a really nice guy. Like, nothing against him. But you know that feeling?
Absolutely.
Like, you're like,
where is he? Yeah.
Wow.
And like, I would ask my client this too. Like, have you ever honored that relationship for what it was? And after you saw him, were you triggered, or did you, because you saw him for a reason at the exact time you were supposed to. So were you triggered when you saw him, or did you feel proud of yourself for letting go?
Both.
And then I would say journal on why you felt both triggered and why you felt relieved and proud of yourself.
Is it possible to see an ex and not get triggered in some way?
There's no way. Because like my heart would jump out of my chest. But it's at a time too, you're like, you know what? You served a beautiful purpose in my life and I don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
Allow it.
Yeah. I have no idea how much of this I'm going to put in there.
You don't have to. But this is like how sessions go. I'm like, I could pull one card and we could talk about one card the entire time.
These are all so highly correlated.
You literally got the card of the entrepreneur. And it's like knowing your power. And that's why the person coming in for you is going to meet you where you're at. And it's like you're not meant to play small anymore. That's not you. You're bigger than that. So I feel like that's probably why. Actually, that was so brave of you to have that breakup. And I don't know who broke up with who. That's like you stepping into your worth.
It's around my birthday, which here's the weird part.
Yeah.
When did you say October?
With the Wheel of Fortune.
Okay. So I realized when I broke up with my ex, I've had 4 serious relationships. Every single one of them I've broken up with in October.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I just got chills. That is so wild.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Scorpio season. It's like the transformation of all.
Oh, wait. No, my first boyfriend, I didn't. No, but that was my first boyfriend. So it's almost like I have my birthday, I reflect, and then I like stand in my worth.
It's good. I see, that's why I keep looking at the Wheel of Fortune. I see the Wheel of Fortune as fortune, like it could look as something bad, but like we talked about earlier, it turns out for your highest good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's this guy that I'm talking to on one of the apps, and I'm just gonna call him Skittles Boy because we don't need to say his name here, and we literally have been talking about snacks and Skittles. Oh I was like, should I tell him I don't like Skittles? But I need to put that in this episode because Skittles Boy, if you're the one, we're playing this at our wedding.
Oh my God. Stop. I love it. He's the king of wands. He doesn't even know.
So fucking funny. Oh my God.
I love it.
Okay. Whew.
Beautiful. Wasn't as scary as you thought, right? But I like to get surprised too, because like I didn't know the direction of what I was going in.
Tell me a little bit about that, because you said I was not expecting romance.
No, I wasn't. I thought it was supposed to be more career, but then it was very not. So good.
It's amazing.
Yes.
And it's exactly what I needed. This was the one spot that I needed more spiritual guidance.
Oh, I love that. And you always get exactly what you're supposed to hear.
I love that.
It's your intuition too. I'm just a mirror of you, so I'm just reflecting what you already know.
If you could leave everyone listening with one main takeaway, whether it's about tarot readings or just something that you've learned over the years, what would that be?
It would be to trust yourself. I feel that we lose, especially as women, we lose our intuition. It's a very beautiful world, but it could be very inner masculine and very in control. We all have a masculine and a feminine inside of us, but I feel that we need to lean more into the intuition side of us and just keep trusting yourself and have faith in yourself. And I think we forget to tune inward, so keep tuning inward, and the external, turn off the monkey mind and listen to your heart is what my biggest advice would be to anyone. And so and go buy a tarot deck and have fun. Don't be afraid of it. Pull a card every day and like
should I show up on my Skittles Boy date with the tarot deck?
Do it. Oh my God. And then he's like, I know exactly what I'm getting myself into. So
oh my God, I'm gonna take a picture of the card you pulled and send it. This was so amazing.
Oh, I'm so glad, Em.
Thank you so much for coming on, for doing this in person.
So fun.
So fun. I can't believe I just got my first reading. Yay.
Isn't it fun? You survived.
I'm addicted.
Yeah. It'll be great.
Yes. All right, y'all. That's a wrap.
Yay!
Bye!
Bye. Oh, I loved it, Em. So fun.